everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. So for this video, I'm going to show you how I contour with creams. My face is already moisturized. So now jumping onto the foundation, I am using the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra 24-Hour Makeup and mixing it with the Maybelline Dream Bronze BB Glow Perfector in light medium. And the reason why I am mixing the BB cream with the 24-hour makeup is because I want to thin out the makeup, and the BB Glow does an awesome job at doing that. But not just that, it does have an illuminator within itself, so it does help give my skin that really nice glow, and it works really well as a base for when I go and start doing my contour. And the brush that I am using to spread the product out is by Real Techniques, and it is the Expert Face Brush. And of course, you all know this is one of my favorite brushes, so I do feel like it does an amazing job at spreading the product out evenly and perfectly. Is that even a word, perfectly? And now moving on to concealer, I am using the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NC30, and I am applying it with both of my ring fingers to create a triangle shape underneath my eyes. And I will be applying it on my chin and my forehead as well, because this is going to play out as my highlight. I just feel like it has more coverage and it'll actually stay on longer. And now moving on to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Cream Kit. The color that I'm using is actually the middle one in the bottom row, and it is Light Sculpt. I feel like this is both warm and cool toned, so it fits me perfectly, at least for my skin tone. And the brush that I use to apply that is by EcoTools, and it is an eye perfecting brush. And now the brush that I'm using to blend out my highlight is by Real Techniques, and it is the setting brush, the brush that I always use. And now this brush that I'm using is also by Real Techniques, and it is a sculpting brush. This, I cannot begin to tell you, it blends it out so nice and so evenly. I tried using a beauty blender, but for some reason, I don't know if it was because I was using it wrong, but I felt like it was absorbing the product too much, and that was even that I had already damped the beauty blender. I feel like the beauty blender works better when I use it to bake underneath my eyes and just anywhere else in my face. I feel like it does an awesome job at that part, but personally, I myself do not like using it to blend out my contour when I am using any kind of cream. Because I have tried using it with other cream contours, but for some reason it doesn't work for me. I don't like it. I feel like it absorbs the product that I'm using already as my base, which I do not want, but also I feel like it just absorbs the contour just super quick. So now I'm just blending out the highlight underneath my eyes with the setting brush from Real Techniques, like always. And as you can see, I do go back and forth just so I can make sure I blend out the highlight that is underneath my eyes and the contour that lays right where my cheekbone is, just so there isn't any harsh line. I just want it to look nicely well blended. I'm going in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour palette. The first color that I will be using is Lyric, which is the top middle color. It's the more yellowy one. And I am using Real Techniques Beauty Blender, and it is damp. Otherwise, it probably wouldn't look like this. If you haven't tried this, you really need to. It really does make your makeup look flawless. And now the brush that I'm using is by EcoTools, and it is the larger powder brush. That's actually the name. It's larger powder brush. And now I am actually going in again with the Real Techniques Beauty Blender, and now I am using Lucid because it is lighter, and as you can see, it is the top left color. The reason why I do go in with the second layer of a powdered highlight is because I want my eyes to look much more awake. And if it's a lighter color, it'll do that for me in the type of form where it actually goes well with my skin tone and how I contour the rest of my face. And now the brush that I'm using to contour my face is by Real Techniques again. And it is their contour brush. And the color that I'm using from the Kat Von D palette is ShadowPlay. I feel like this color tends to tone my face really, really well. It's not too warm, but not too cool, because if it's really cool with my skin tone, it actually looks really dirty. And if it's too warm, I look really red, and I don't really like that. And as you can see, I am applying some of that contour powdered color on my eyelids, so it can actually play off as a color base for when I go and apply my eyeshadow, but it'll also play as a really nice transition color right where my crease is at. And now I am brushing off the excess highlight powder with a Real Techniques powder brush. And now I am going in with Anastasia Beverly Hills Illuminator in So Hollywood. And at first, I did not know why everyone was raving so much about this product, but now I understand, because it is like that perfect gold whitey-ish color. It's like, I don't know, it's perfect. I love it. The brush that I'm using to apply this is by EcoTools. It's their larger powder brush. And now going in with blush, I am using the e.l.f. blush palette in dark, and it is actually that bottom right color. It's like, it's pretty dark, but I'm barely using any, but it's amazing. Like, I love it. And the brush that I'm using is the same Real Techniques contour brush that I used earlier. For me, I really don't care to use the same brushes every now and then. And now moving on to eyes, I am going to be using the Lorac Pro Matte palette, and the brush that I'm actually using for this is by Real Techniques again, and it is their Deluxe Crease brush. It's actually a really nice brush if you haven't tried it. Like, it's really nice. It does a really good job at blending and at packing on eyeshadow if you ever need to do that. But in this case, as you can see, I'm not doing that. I'm going more of a natural type of look. But the colors that I'm actually using are the second colors, the top and bottom, which is Pink, Mauve, and Latte mixed together. And I am also doing the same for my bottom lid. I'm using both of the same colors. And then I will be going in with a little bit of So Hollywood Illuminator with a Real Techniques shading brush, and as you can see, I'm applying most of it on the center and then spreading the rest out throughout the entire lid. And now I'm just going to curl my lashes, of course, because they're straight as a horse. And now I am going in with eyelashes, and they are by Ardell in Natural, and the glue that I am using is by Duo, and it is in clear white. And I did realize it would be nice to go in and darken up my bottom lid a tad bit. So the color that I'm using is still from the Lorac Pro Matte palette, but in this case I'm using Latte and Corduroy because Corduroy is a little too dark. So I just figured I would mix both of them. And I'm using the same brush I used when I applied the So Hollywood Illuminator, and it is a shading brush by Real Techniques. And as you can see, I am applying a tad bit on my crease. Just honestly, it is whatever was left on my brush. I still wanted to keep it as natural as I possibly could keep it. And now I am going in with mascara, and I'm using Maybelline Falsies Volume Express in black. I also will be applying mascara both on my top and bottom lashes because I feel, one, it'll open up my eyes a whole lot more, and two, because I did apply some eyeshadow on my bottom lid, so I feel like it would give it a whole lot more definition to my eyes, and it'll give my eyes enough attention to where it'll make the entire makeup look really nice. Lastly, moving on to lips, I am using the Lancome Lip Lover Lip Gloss in number 314, and I am using my finger just to really dab it into my lips because I will be using a lip liner by Bare Minerals, and it is their Moxie lip liner in Rivid or Revid. It's spelled really weird, so if I totally bombed that, sorry. But I do feel like these two tend to pair each other up really, really well because it does give me a nice nudie light pink. Alright guys, that is it. I hope you were able to enjoy this makeup tutorial of mine and you were able to learn a thing or two from it. Thank you so much guys, and take care.